Hello, hello, hello. Player One Taco coming to you live from day one of the Digital Asset Summit here in New York, hosted by Blockworks. I am here with the one and only Mr. Nick from Marinade. How are you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
You were not ready for this level of energy, were you?
No, I was not. You hit the switch, literally.
I did. I pressed play, but this is how I usually am. I think maybe the chai kicked in. Who knows? How have you had day one so far?
Oh, it's been great, man. I was just got back from one of the talks with Tolly, and then watched our very own Hadley Stern talking on stage about the validator ecosystem. So
Hadley's pretty freaking smart.
Yeah, he is. We're lucky to have him. Every team needs one traditional finance guy, and he's ours, and we're lucky to have him.
One of the things that's sort of cool about him is that he's able to break things down without making you feel dumb, and like he's coming down to your level. He's just like very good at explaining things.
Yes. Well, you got to keep in mind, like him coming from TradFi was, pretty recent. So he had to learn all this stuff himself and kind of change his entire worldview on all of this. So he's just disseminating information to you the same way that it worked for him.
Yeah.
So it's not technical in a good way.
So Marinade, what is Marinade? I know what Marinade is, but for those that are not watching, what is Marinade?
Yeah, so we're a staking platform, but different than the traditional. So we actually don't have any of our own validators. Essentially what's happening is we have this system called SAM, which is the stake auction marketplace. And at any moment, there's between 150 to 500 plus validators that are fighting for your staked SOL. So you delegate your SOL to us, and then we delegate it to the top performing validators. So right now, for any given epoch, there's going to be about 150 winners, right, that are giving the highest APY possible, that meet our threshold. We automatically on the back end delegate your stake to those winners, ensuring you the highest APY every single epoch. And there's also no downtime because we take basically take a portion of SOL from these validators and we slash it if there's any downtime. So the amount of times that it's called protected staking rewards. You might be staking a ton of SOL with any random validator that you're associated with, and you might get 90, 95% uptime, but you're getting killed by that 5% and you don't even notice it. And with us,
no downtime.
No downtime.
And so you have two different staking options. You have both LST liquid staking, MSOL, and then you have native staking as well. With you can do like boosted rewards with some of your validators. Huge shout out to Node Guru.
Yeah, we have both. So we have our liquid staking, which is MSOL, and then we have our native staking, which is just Marinade staking. They're both run by this Dutch auction platform that is SAM. So it's the same protected staking rewards, no smart contract risk, this Dutch auction that's getting you the highest APY possible. Again, we love the idea. We've been playing around with stealing from GameStop a little bit with like power to the players. We view it as like a power to the stakers. So instead of feeling like you're just an ant in this and you're delegating in SOL and hoping for the best, we are literally every epoch fighting for you on your behalf to get you the highest APY possible. And you don't do anything. You just sit back.
And you have an added benefit to that. You have a governance token.
Yeah, so we have MNDE. We try not to get too much into MNDE, talk publicly about it a ton, but it basically, if you believe in Marinade as a whole, like we have MNDE, we're able to vote on changes to our own ecosystem with that as well. I mean, big believer in it personally, but we've been advised.
It's a good thing that that no one watches this, so we're safe. Fingers crossed, right?
Yes, we're safe. We're keeping fingers crossed. Like I said, I love it myself. There's every time we have a vote to pass, it's just like these SIMDs that come out. We have to then, rally the troops to get them to vote things pass. I love decentralization as much as everyone else. Sometimes it can make quick decisions difficult, but that's in the spirit of it, right? Marinade's participating in the spirit of decentralization and on-chain, so big changes are made with MNDE.
We had a big governance proposal with SIMD 0228.
Yeah.
That sort of like, I don't want to say drove a wedge between the community, or it temporarily on views. Mm-hmm. And one of my biggest pieces was that, all right, cool, it didn't pass. It was, the popular vote was towards it, but because of threshold, it didn't meet it. That's over with. Now let's move forward. What were your sort of thoughts on it?
So I went back and forth. We publicly stated our opinion as a yes, but actually gave more negatives and positives, funny enough, but we still went with the yes. My personal feedback is Solana inflation definitely needs to be looked into, and it already is, and that's why these proposals are coming out, and there's likely going to be more coming. This felt like not a quick fix, but it was like, not rushed out there a little bit. Everyone looked at it, reviewed it. I think this is a good step in the right direction. We've all acknowledged problem might be a little bit aggressive, but we've acknowledging something that needs to become more efficient, which is bring this inflation a little bit down.
Because inflation already comes down every year, and it's sort of like a planned deflation of inflation. So I think the big issue that a lot of people was, this was taking like from this tiny downward spiral to just a cliff.
Yeah.
And a lot of views on like the smaller validators getting hurt from this.
Yeah, so the cliff, it's, okay. So like the problem with the small validators is they basically wouldn't be able to function anymore. Like you wouldn't be making enough revenue to even like host your servers, right? Which is something that we talked about and posted about. For someone like, which is interesting because we were saying we actually were supporting it, but for something like Marinade, it actually helps us in a way, because if there's less smaller validators, technically they can stake with Marinade, which is, again, we're delegating to like big validators. We have enough SOL to delegate where all these validators are able to run as long as they're getting staked SOL from us. But at the end of the day, like, we still do care about the inflationary piece, because obviously it helps with the intrinsic value of the token itself. And again, like you said, it still is, the inflation comes down more and more every year. But I think the way people view it right now is the amount that's getting paid out every epoch, it feels unsustainable. And again, it's not going to stay like this. It's going to come down. But this felt like a quick fix to, again, like you said, take it off a cliff a bit and, take it down a lot, which would at least temporarily make people feel better about the levels of inflation.
It felt like it was like cutting off a hand to clip your nails type of situation.
Yes. I think where I definitely, after looking into it, I was like, maybe that is necessary, where it's like if you do believe inflation is too high, then maybe you do need to take the whole hand off at this point, and if it's too much, like, that's okay.
Yeah.
But that being said, like, now that it hasn't passed, from talking to people like yourself, like, I'm seeing the other side of it, where it's like it was too much. But wouldn't you agree that now that that's been out there, it's now like addressing a concern, and now there's going to be better proposals put out that are more into the middle, like you're stating?
I no, 100% agree with you. What it did is it brought the information to a lot of people that didn't really think about it like that, or that it could be addressed. Mm-hmm. People thought it was just hard-coded in, and they forget, like this is one of the things that I very much dislike about public opinion towards Solana, is that there isn't actual governance towards it. Literally, the inflation rate that's hard-coded was about to get changed. Popular vote was to the yes, but because there's a high threshold, it didn't pass. And so it showed that the governance is live and real on Solana, and I think that that's sort of a really cool thing.
It is. It is really cool. I think for Marinade specifically, there's a fine line there, which is not something that maybe everyone would think about and doesn't apply to a lot of other teams. We deal with a lot of institutional money at very high levels. And part of that means we need to be educators. So when we have to explain to a bank or an exchange or an institution, right, that has a lot of SOL delegated to us, why APY would be changing, it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing in some ways as well. Because they're going to be like, wait a second, you can just change the APY with a vote? And it's like, yes, but this is why it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So at first glance, you can be like, okay, that's tough for something for Marinade to deal with. But then if you look at the other side of it, it's actually good, is because it cements us as the experts in the situation, where it's like, okay, like, I understand why this might be alarming, but here's an explanation for why it's not, and why it's actually a good thing, and why decentralization is good.
And Marinade's actually trying to have a foot in both worlds. One, with the small validators, but then obviously two, here you are at the Digital Asset Summit, which is like an institutional play where some of the talks are under Chatham House rules. Mm-hmm. And so you guys have a new product that you guys are coming out with, the Alpha.
Oh, which one? Which one have you been told?
Wait, there's more?
Which one were you talking about?
Which one do you want to tell me about?
What do I want to talk about? So
I know the institutional Alpha. Do you want to tell me the DGen Alpha?
Yeah. So there's instant unstake. There's Marinade Prime. And what else? There's also the referral partner program, and then there's also the virtual validators that we're working on as well. That's all I'll say on those for now. But yeah, we have a lot cooking over.
So I was bringing up the institutional validator side of things, to where like KYC'd validators for institutional play, so that institutions can come and play more in Solana on the staking side.
Yeah. Are you talking on the virtual walidator side where where we're allowing them to host their own?
Host their own, or them hosting, staking like a subset of validators that meet, SOC 2 compliance and other pieces.
Yeah, it's Marinade Prime.
Yeah, and so the prime side of things, of where institutions can have a say in Solana governance even.
Yeah, so for right now...
I didn't know it was called Prime, so that's new alpha for me.
Yeah, it's new alpha for you. We'll see if I get in trouble for that one later. We'll find out.
I already had approval to talk about it.
How many viewers do we have?
My grandma. We're good.
Yeah.
Love you, Grandma.
So basically, what we don't think about living in our degen world is the amount of compliance that not even just like US companies, but like every country has its own level of compliance that is very difficult to deal with. And if you just say like, you have, some of these institutions, let's say they have 500,000, 600,000 SOL, right? And it's like, well, you need to be staking these, or you're basically missing out, because this token is inflating without you, right? Which is okay, because it's a volatile asset, but it's still not the best. So like, okay, we'll stake with Marinade. Great, problem solved. And it's like, okay, who are these validators that you're working with?
Where exactly is the hardware that my soul is staked into?
Yeah. Exactly. So,
it's in China. Oh, yeah, we cannot have that, sir.
Exactly. So like, there's these validators. It's a decentralized system, right? We're not we can nitpick here and there to make sure that any like validators that aren't meeting certain standards, or even are doing enough sandwiching that they're getting caught, like we can remove them. But again, it's a decentralized system for 99% of it, so we can't fully control the validators that are getting staked from us. Well, that's not going to work for these institutional clients like you're talking about. They need to know who these validators are, where the servers are, the names of people that are running it, and it can't just be player one taco. Like, they have to have a real name.
Actually, it can be, but
there has to be a real name associated with the validator as well.
My real name is player one taco.
Exactly. So yeah, that's where Marinade Prime comes in. So allowing these big institutions that have lots and lots of SOL to stake safely and compliantly.
Amazing. All right, so are you a shit poster on Twitter?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, what was the last fucking shitcoin you bought?
Last shitcoin I bought was probably Trump. So I've taken a break since then.
I'm going to argue with you on that being a shitcoin. I'm going to call it an RWA.
I'd like to hear that argument.
So the entire team that launched it, if you go to their site, not anywhere do they talk about it being a token or a coin. They say it's a meme, it's a trading card, it's an emotion. The project itself does not in any way, shape, or form call it a token or recognize it as a coin. It's built, obviously, on Solana under an SPL contract, but isn't that what an RWA would use as well?
I like the argument, and I like elevating it above what would be a normal shitcoin. So I'll give a better example. Probably Chonky. Chonky's a true shitter.
Oh.
True shit in the best way.
Chonky is awesome. We love that man. And that cat.
Yeah, the cat is fat.
The cat is fat.
Not financial advice.
Okay, well, maybe if you like fat cats.
Yeah, if you like.
Or MNDE.
Yeah, not exactly in the shitcoin realm.
What's the latest proposal?
I don't even know. I don't know what the latest proposal is. I know we had just had to get a few things passed, and again, it was a whole. You have to like post on all these socials. You got to, again, the rallying the troops is probably like the most fun part of having a token like that. Is when it's like, hey guys, just a reminder. And then like, did you vote? And like then trying to like, yeah, it is fun having to rally it like that. Ideally, right, you get to a point where there's enough individual holders of the token who are invested in the success of Marinade that you don't have to do that, right? It just runs itself, and proposals are put up, and people vote on it all on their own. But hey, that's some of the pain points with decentralization, right?
It is rallying the troops, and you know, the whole thing that people believe in is that you have to incentivize people to vote. You know, and I thought just giving them the opportunity to. People are like, well, you get to vote. That should be enough incentive. Incentive?
It's close.
It's incentive, yeah. Incentivized, you know, would be the biggest play, but everyone's sort of, you know, we see how selfish everyone is. What's in it for me?
Yeah, so on that point, the market's going to market, right? So you can't blame the market. It is what it is. We move in such a fast-acting space that not only does there have to be an incentive, but it has to be a volatile and quick incentive. It's like, I want this incentive to hit to be 1,000x or a lot of money, or be nothing and go to zero immediately. Like the idea of like longer term incentivization, which is kind of a lot of the ethos here, right? When you talk about like a token that's literally meant for voting, like that's all about a long-term play. It's really tough to compete with a shorter term, like just click. I either won or I lost immediately. So that's why you have to do things like rally the troops, get people re-excited and reignited on every time there's a vote.
Yeah. All right. Now, last but not least, the most controversial question I'm going to ask you ever. Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Phantom or Soulflare?
Oh my God. You can't put me on the spot like this. I know both teams. You can't do this. You can't do this. All right, I'll give a diplomatic answer. I am currently almost exclusively a Phantom user, so there's a part of the answer is in there. I have Phantom on both my laptops. I have it on my phone, my old phone, my wife's phone. I have maybe only one instance of Soulflare. That being said, I've talked to the Soulflare team quite a bit, and they've done quite a good job branding and selling, I would say especially in the last month. Oh, off frame. In the last month, and they're making me reconsider things. So the switch has not been made yet, but I'm considering it.
All right, all right. So what we just learned here is that he is a Magic Eden wallet user.
Won't even respond to that. I like those guys too. No comment.
Nick, it has been an amazing time talking with you. Come check out Marinade if you're looking at the institutional side, or if you're looking at the degen side and you just like to support small validators like Node Guru. Shout out to you guys, I love you. But last but not least, where can they find you on the Twitter?
At Nicky Scans.
Can you spell that out for the algorithm?
NICKYSCANZ. Nicky Scans.
Nicky Scans. We'll see you on the flip side.